What is up, you guys? It's your boy Peace. How you guys doing? So yes, this is the iPhone 13 mini and this is my real day in the life review. Real day in the life review is a review video that I'm going to use a certain devices in real day in the life situation. Obviously. So every settings on this phone will be on default, such as tap to wake, auto brightness, using 5G and whatnot. And I'm going to use camera, video streaming, gaming, so you guys can see the actual battery life of this thing. The 13 mini has the 1.5 hours of screen on time increase in the battery capacity. So I'm kind of excited about the battery life of this thing because the 12 mini it was okay. Anyway, I just went to the gym. I was just listening to some music and podcasts using Spotify. And when I was walking back home for the gym, I was just casually scrolling through some articles and stuff to kill some time. So the battery life of this phone is at 82% and the total screen on time of this phone is 34 minutes, which is not bad at all. I didn't really use something that's battery intensive. I didn't really use a lot of cameras. Anyway, let me eat some breakfast, and while I'm eating breakfast, I'll watch some YouTube videos or some type of social media so I can enjoy my meal. So let's get right into it. Okay, so I got my famous protein oatmeal, which is super freaking hot. But let me talk about the display about this phone real quick. Display on this 13 mini is the same size from the previous model, which is 12 mini, which is 5.4 inch. But the brightness of this display is 800 nits, which is I think 200 nits brighter than the last one. Also, the notch size is reduced by 20% compared to last year's model. However, I didn't feel any type of different when I was just like, playing around with the phone because the thickness of the notch didn't change. So to be honest, it feels thicker. It feels like it's more condensed, but it's the same thickness, so don't worry about it. The sad thing about the mini and the normal 13 is that the screen refresh rate is capped at 60, so my casual usage experience didn't really change at all. Anyway, let me eat some breakfast and let me watch some YouTube videos. However, I just realized that I'm going to meet up with my dad at the airport and we're probably gonna grab some early lunch, so I don't know why I made this breakfast. But anyway, let's watch some YouTube videos. Okay, I couldn't finish the breakfast, obviously, but this is my screen on time and the battery percentage, and time is 8:24 in the morning. So, let's get ready, let's go to the airport, and let's meet my dad. Okay, yeah.
Grind and tabernacles, I battle rappers and shatter shackles. Half the packle, packing the crackle, it's like an Adam's apple. I never claim to be perfect, I got a lot of issues.
Alright, I just got back from the airport. It was really nice to see my dad and my girlfriend, but I have a lot of things to talk about when it comes to the battery life about this 13 mini. When I was going to the airport, I used some camera apps here and there, and I was doing some nest surfing and scrolling to some social media when I'm on the train. When I finally met my dad, we ate some lunch together and we went to the balcony of the airport, and I used some camera apps to test out the cinematic mode and stuff, and it's pretty crazy to be honest. The ultra wide on the 13 mini is nothing too drastically different compared to the previous one. You just have a new function of, autofocus and stuff, which is kind of nice. However, the main camera on the 13 mini uses the same sensor from the 12 Pro Max, which is a bigger sensor with the sensor shift optical stabilization, which is kind of cool because the sensor moves in the camera. Theoretically, it will have a better stabilization and better night mode because the camera itself is not moving and the sensor is moving for you. But I have to say, when you have a bunch of lights, especially when you're shooting outdoor with the main camera, it looks really good. And as you guys can see from this photo of a fork, the 13 mini does have a little bit more blur in the background compared to the 12 mini. I guess you can say it's a little sharper because of the sensor, but the f-stop is the same, which is 1.6, so it's kind of weird, but it does have a small difference. Also, the cinematic mode, when it works, it looks really good. It does separate the subject and the background really well. The camera itself does identify, a person or the stuff that you shooting on, and it just creates a very nice blur on the background. However, if you decrease it or increase it up to f2.0, which is the lowest f-stop that you can do on cinematic mode, it does kind of look a little too artificial-y. So I do suggest you to put it up to like maybe 3 or 4, f-stop stop, so it will look more natural. The selfie camera is exactly the same with the 12 mini. I didn't see any type of difference, but I still really dig the iPhone selfie camera. It's one of the best selfie camera I ever use on any type of smartphones. The battery life of this phone is at 26%, and the total screen on time is 2 hours and 17 minutes. And right now it's 2:11 p.m. in the afternoon. I'm sorry, it's not focusing. When it comes to the battery capacity, the 12 mini does have 2,227 milliamp, and the 13 mini has 2,438 milliamp, which is around 9% increase of a whole battery capacity. I told you guys at the beginning I put this on a default setting, and the thing about auto brightness on default setting is that as soon as you go to some bright place, which is outside, inside of a train, brighter place like here, the auto brightness will crank out at the top, like no questions asked. And I think 800 nits for this battery capacity, and I guess the less notch size, is kind of detrimental for the battery life of this phone. And I know it's partially my fault because I kind of love to use camera apps, and I was shooting videos with 4K 60, HDR, and some cinematic modes, so I think that kind of attacked the battery life of this phone very dramatically compared to just scrolling TikTok or just watching Instagram and stuff. However, one thing I noticed about the 13 mini, maybe because of the battery capacity or the more battery efficient A15 Bionic chip, I don't know why, but the battery will not drop dramatically. When I was using 12 mini, the battery dropped like out of nowhere, sometimes like 10%, which was kind of crazy. But when I was using 13 mini, the battery is like slowly decreasing. It doesn't just drop like crazy amount of battery percentages out of nowhere. So I think that was pretty cool. And if you just like watch your battery life throughout the day, you can kind of adjust your usage of the phone, and you can just like, put down the phone and actually enjoy the view out of your smartphone. And I think that's kind of beneficial. Anyway, I have to do some video editing for my job, and I'm also gonna do some scheduling for tomorrow's schedule and use some Notion and Google Calendar and stuff. So let's go be productive, guys. Okay, so it is 4 p.m. right now, and the total battery percentage is at 16%, and the screen on time is at 2 hours and 52 minutes. I'm gonna play some video games and see how great video games can kill the battery life of this phone, and I just genuinely want to see the performance of the A15 Bionic chip. So let's play some video games, and of course I'm gonna play some Call of Duty because that's the only game that I actually play on smartphone. So let's go play it. Okay, so it is 4:38 p.m. in the afternoon, and the total battery life of this phone is at 7%. And the screen on time is 3 hours and 23 minutes. Apple is claiming 13 mini to have 1.5 hours of more screen on time, but since auto brightness is cranking up to 800 nits maximum, and I've been using some video features like cinematic mode, which is kind of CPU intensive for the A15 Bionic chip, I felt like, if you push this phone to its limit, or if you're trying to use a new feature, I think the battery life, like feel wise, is gonna be exactly same with the 12 mini. I'll say it's a little bit better. Also, the A15, I think it was like 10% increase in single core and 17 to 19% increase in the multi-core performance. I'll leave the Geekbench right here. But in my day-to-day usage, like of today, I didn't feel any type of difference. I mean, even if I crank up the graphic on the game, you still can crank up the graphic on maximum on this one, and you can totally play any type of game easily. So I didn't feel any type of different from the A14, but the benefit of this one is you can use like cinematic mode and new features and stuff. So I think that's kind of cool. Anyway, guys, if you guys like to see my 12 mini real day in life review, please hit the video right here. And if you guys like to see my other real day in life, I'll put it right here in my playlist right here so you guys can check it out, and my channel right here. Have a great day, guys. Have a great Apple day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.